My name is Charlie Grover. I am with the Economic Development Committee here in Thomaston. I'm here with Glenn Holmes today. Glenn is the president of Community Concept Financial Corporation. And our mission today is to help you learn about the various programs that are available for your financial challenges presented to us through COVID-19. So this morning, I'll be asking Glenn some questions, and he'll be giving us all the answers on what avenues you might consider in your business to get through the virus shutdown, and even look at the future for what you might want to do to grow your business. So briefly, in the way of advertising, the Community Development Committee is a group that's been put together here in Thomaston to attract and retain businesses, to provide some new tax revenue for the town, to provide employment opportunities, but most importantly right now, to help our existing businesses get over the hurdle of this financial virus. So Glenn, why don't you tell us a little bit about Community Concepts Financial Corporation, which, by the way, for you people viewing this, is recognized by the SBA as the top performing micro lender in the state of Maine. So here's a fellow that really knows what he's doing. So Glenn, why don't you tell us about your company?
Sure. Thank you, Charlie. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the work you folks are all doing in Thomaston, because even before the COVID-19, obviously all of our small communities are struggling to build their economies and grow businesses and get more things going on downtown. And I think Thomaston's got a great approach, and I think that the selectmen and the community are really are lucky to have people like you working on a committee doing this kind of work. So yeah, a little bit about Community Concepts Finance Corp and myself. So I've been with the company for about 8 years, and for the last 5 years we've been recognized as the SBA's #1 micro lender in the state. But besides just the SBA programs, we also have our regular business lending program. So we make loans as small as $1,000 up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. We work in concert with all of the standard financial institutions. So we have partnerships with almost every bank in Maine, so that when you go to the bank, a lot of times they can't make a loan because there's collateral issues or credit issues or things like that. So either we'll work with them, or a lot of times we'll make the loans initially, and we try to work with folks because we have a technical assistance staff that costs nothing to our borrowers, where we come in and we'll actually provide assistance with inventory control, how to do your books, how to do advertising. We provide seminars and one-on-one assistance for those things. And again, it's at no cost to our borrowers. Our programs range from USDA to SBA to Finance Authority of Maine to just standard loan type products. We are not the lowest or least expensive group in the state by any means, because we have to always look at the risk that we're taking, and most of the money we lend is money we borrow. So we have to have a small margin on top of that. So our loans go out anywhere normally between 6 and 9%. Currently, we do have some programs as low as 3% with the SBA, which is really exciting, and we'll talk about some of those more as we get into the COVID-19 options. But I do ask that anybody wants to reach out to us, you can go to ccfcmaine.org. That's ccfcmaine.org. And if you click on the business resources link, there's actually a button there for coronavirus loans, and there's a expedited application process, and we can work with you there. If you want to reach us by phone, it's 207-333-6419. That's 207-333-6419. And someone will get back to you within 24 hours on a business days, and see what we can do to help.
Well, thank you, Glenn. Where the real issue today is getting over the shutdown, let's talk about the first program, which everyone reads about in the paper, the SBA 7A Expansion PPP program. And before we get into that, I know Glenn was on the phone last night with Senator Collins, because as you read in the paper, they've burned through their money. However, Glenn has some good news this morning about what's coming up. Why don't you tell us about that, Glenn?
So I was talking to Senator Collins' staff last evening, and they're very confident that next week we're going to see a bipartisan bill that will put another $250 billion into that pool. And I really recommend that anyone who thinks they're eligible to work with your local bank and try to get an application in, so you're in line. So when that next tranche of money comes out, you're first there, and don't wait. This is going to go fast. They did over $500 million in the first 4 days just here in Maine. So a lot of our clients were able to take advantage of that. And I know Charlie helped a lot of people get advantage of that. So it is there, it is working, and it is being funded. So don't be afraid to get an application done.
That's exactly good advice, Glenn. My advice to people here in Thomaston is there's no shame in being first in line. And you want to get there as quick as you can. If you have any questions later on, you can call me at 480-0146, 480-0146. That's my home phone. I can certainly answer anything you might need, but you do need to get on this program. Now, the interesting part about the program, Glenn, is how it actually works in terms of forgiveness and moving forward. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The basic principle of the program is that when you fill the application out, you're looking at your normal payroll expenses and then looking at about 2.5 times what those would, 2.5 months worth of that would be. So your loan, if you had a $50,000 a month payroll, you could get $125,000 through this program. And currently 25% of that money could be spent to pay leases, rents, interest on mortgages, things like that, as well as your payroll. The idea behind the program is to keep your people working. So even if you may be closed, there's other things. I know that in a lot of organizations, they're doing a lot of painting, they're doing a lot of cleaning, they're doing construction in their lobbies, they're doing things like that. Keeping those people who normally might be waiting on customers, still keeping them busy and keeping them employed so that we can all move forward after this is over.
And there's a forgiveness piece of that, which works how, Glenn?
So the forgiveness piece, as long as you spend all of that money on the approved ideas, for payroll and for those things I listed, that all of that money can be forgiven. At the same time, if you don't spend it all and you have some left over, you simply provide that portion back, and what you did spend properly would be able to be forgiven. It is a 1% loan with a 24-month term that starts 6 months after your closing date. So if you close today, you have no payments due for 6 months, and it's a 1% loan on anything that's not forgiven. But you do only have 24 months to pay that back. So you want to make sure that's a pretty small number.
That's right. Or if you use it on approved expenses, you're totally forgiven.
Completely forgiven. Now, the other part of that is that it's not a taxable event, and there's still some conversation around that piece, because the money will come in and will not be considered revenue to your company. However, the conversation now is, can you take the expenses that you pay as expenses against your normal revenue stream? And we're working with a number of accountants trying to get that figured out right now, but we have not got clear guidance. And I do think that if you get this, make sure you work with your accounting firm to find out how to handle that. Because the worst thing could be is if you pile up some extra revenue and you wind up having to pay taxes on that.
That's a good point. Another exciting program that is existing through Glenn's operation is called a Microloan Program. And this has an SBA connection. But Glenn, why don't you tell us about the Microloan and what that means to the businesses?
Sure. So currently the SBA has done an amazing thing. It's not getting a lot of press, but we're really excited about it. We have 88 microloan clients on the books before this started. Every single one of them, the SBA is making their payment for them for 6 months. So therefore, they don't have to pay it back. It's not accruing additional interest. The SBA is just giving us the money to make the payments on their loans. And they've extended that to any loan that we make out of the SBA Microloan Program from now until September 27th will qualify for that same program. So therefore, if you get a loan for $10,000 from us today, the first 6 payments will be made by SBA on your behalf, which is really exciting. Now, that does not mean you can ask me for $50,000 with a 6-month term so that it's all paid and forgiven. We look at we underwrite the loan as standard, and we look at what your cash flow could support for a payment, and that will be your term. So most of the terms are between 36 and 60 months, but at least that first 6 months is paid. The SBA does have another part of this, which we always have had, is we can do 6 months of deferment on your loan. The interest still accrues, but even if you get a loan today, we make they make the first 6 payments for you, and we're still in trouble, we can defer the first payment till 6 months after that. So that could give you up to a year to recover before having to actually make a payment on an SBA microloan. Those loans are from $500 to $50,000 is the cap.
50,000, you said?
50,000 is the maximum loan we can do in a microloan.
Now, I think another thing that's important for our viewers is to know that there's no, any of these loans we're talking about right now, there's no prepayment penalty.
Correct. CCFC does not charge any prepayment penalty on any of our loans. So if you take out a loan today and things get great after the COVID-19 and you want to pay it off to save all the interest after that, more than happy to do that. All we do is recirculate that money. I've got $1 million designated for this current program that we've got, that we just got from the SBA. Literally 3 days after the COVID hit, I sent an email to SBA in DC, and because of our standing, I was able to have the money in my account in 3 days. So we've got $1 million just for this program.
So there is a lot of creative things you can do when you don't have a prepayment penalty. One of them is it's nice to have a cushion in the bank, because while we need to get through the financial challenge of the COVID-19 virus, the recovery for our businesses is not going to be wicked fast, as they say here in Maine. It's going to be a slow recovery, and it would be nice to have a cushion in your bank account just in case you might need it. And the good news is, as Glenn says, in any of these programs, you can give it back if you don't need it. So the first 6 months will tell you, do you need it or not need it? And if you give it back, Glenn will just recirculate it to other customers.
Absolutely.
Glenn, there's a couple more that we should talk about. One is the economic injury and disaster loan.
EIDL. So the EIDL is a direct SBA loan. It's one of the few times SBA ever directly lends money to clients. So that is a very simple application process. If you go to sba.gov, click on the EIDL link. It's maybe 20 minutes. You're going to need to know what your gross revenues are, what your cost of goods are, your EIN number, all the standard things that any small business would know pretty much off the top of their head, I would hope. And once you apply for that, pretty much within 3 days, you'll have an answer back one way or the other, whether you're going to get the loan. And pretty much everyone who applies gets $10,000, which is a grant. So therefore, the $10,000 of the loan would be considered a grant. The way that works is if you have at least 10 employees, then you can get up to $10,000. So if you have 5 employees, that grant would only be $5,000. So if you're a one-person shop or you do run payroll and all those things, you could get $1,000. So I just want people, I know people think out there, they see this on TV and it's 10,000. Small businesses in Maine, very few of them have more than 10 employees. So just don't expect to get the full 10,000 if you apply. It is a pretty simple process, and funding has been really rapid. They were overwhelmed in the beginning, but I'm seeing clients being funded within 7 days on this loan already.
And the EIDL major loan is what, a 30-year loan at 3%, 3.75?
It can be up to 30 years with a 3.75%. But again, being a financial coaching operation as well here, remember, if you were to borrow $100,000, even at 3.75%, if you pay it back over 30 years, you're going to pay about $50,000 in interest. Not a good idea. So just remember, pay it back as fast as possible.
And there's no prepayment penalty there, right?
There is no prepayment penalty there either.
All right, well, what we've done this morning is inundate you with letters and numbers and words that you may not be familiar with. But if you have any interest in addressing the financial challenges brought to us through the COVID-19, or any interest in future development of your business, you can call me, as I said before, at 480-0146, or you can call Glenn at 333-6419. Is that right? 333-6419. And you can get answers to your questions, and you make the decision. Is this a good investment for you or not? One more thing about Glenn's organization, however, is they provide tremendous back office support. If you need to update your business plan to be a little fancier with the local lender, or you need to understand how QuickBooks can help you more than just balance your books, they can help you do that. So you really should spend some time talking with Glenn's people about how they can help your business in the future. Right now, we're all focused on the next 8 weeks or so, but eventually this will go away. And eventually you may need some extra capital to grow your business and do all the things that you've dreamt about. So that pretty much concludes, Glenn, what we're going to do today. We are going to, you'll see this video as you're watching the video now, and hopefully maybe over the next several months, we'll do 1 or 2 more videos about the future and what you can do to help your business grow in the future. But Glenn, thank you very much for everything you've done for us, and thank you for your time today. And you can say goodbye, because I'm going to say goodbye.
Thank you very much, Charlie. And again, I really look forward to a continued relationship with the town of Thomaston. Community Conscious Finance Corporation is a statewide lender. I know a lot of entrepreneurs in Maine are going to have some great ideas coming out of this COVID-19. This will spur people to find new things to do and new businesses. So please, if you've got an idea, give us a call. We'd love to chat with you and help you out. And again, our goal is to get you financed by a traditional lender and off our books so that you can have the best interest rates possible and start building that long-term relationship with them. Thank you very much. And again, www.ccfcmaine.org. Check us out or give me a call. Take care.
Thank you very much.